Cancer, how are you today? My name is Debbie and welcome to Spirit in You. I'm really glad that you've joined me today. So I have your December reading. Okay, Cancer? So what I've done is I've laid out some cards, which I'll show you in a moment. I've done a timeline of cards and we'll go through all of those, and that will be that we will be working through the month of December. Now, energy is fluid, so it kind of will resonate a little bit before and a little bit after, but certainly it's running through the month for you. Now, I've laid out these cards and I'm going to show you those in a moment, but before we get the reading underway, I just wanted to talk to you about the fact that I'm a medium. So today what I'm going to be doing is going through this reading for you, and there will be specific messages there for people, but what there won't be is the exact message for absolutely everybody. It can't work like that, can it? I mean, life isn't like that. There's way too many of you. So in order to have a one-to-one reading so that we've got the energies and we're working one-to-one, then you would book a reading with me. But for now, we're still going to get a lot out of this reading because it is definitely for you, Cancer, and there will be stuff there for you that you'll be able to use and you'll be able to recognise, and as I say, specific messages for specific people. So just bear that in mind. I wanted to just show you, and I will bring it down in a moment, this lovely smoky quartz. And this is a raw smoky quartz. I've got a lovely polished one, but this was the one I was drawn to. Now, this wouldn't be typically your crystal, your birthstone or anything like that, Cancer, but it was the one that I was told to get, and it was the one that I felt was right, and it feels otherworldly to me. It feels planetary, it feels like the solar system, and it was just very right, and it will, you'll understand that as we go through the reading, because before I turned on the camera and I was just thinking about you, and I did some meditation, I knew that I had to get this smoky quartz, and I just wanted to say to you that the smoky quartz is very good at teaching you, it's just one thing I got given, how to leave the past behind. Goodness knows, I mean, that's a great lesson for all of us, but particularly for you, as I was given it, was how to leave the past behind, and this is why I've chosen this, and I'm definitely getting that otherworldly feel. I just want to balance it on my hand like this and show that, you know, I'm able to stand on my own 2 feet, and that's what it feels like. Okay, Cancer? So I'm going to pull the camera down now and just show you these cards, and then I'll talk to you at the end of the reading. So let's just get everything in focus for you. And that should be right. Yep. So we've got the rose quartz here, which I always have with me. I have this for love, and it feels beautiful in my hands, and it's a lovely one for you as well, Cancer. It really is. But this is what I've got very much for you today. Very important that you have that and just see the beauty in it, and it really works for you. And I've got you standing really sure of yourself, assured of yourself. The mountains that you've had to climb and the rocky roads that you've had to go along, and you know, the stumbling blocks along the way, and the relationships that haven't worked, and the things that have hurt you, and the people who haven't always understood you, well, that's okay, because it's led you to where you are now, and you are really sure-footed. It feels beautiful for you. You've definitely got spirit with you, by the way, as well. You've got angels. I've pulled an angel card for you as well. I'll show you that at the end. So there's your lovely smoky quartz, which feels beautiful and is just for you, with your lovely kind heart. That's what I get with this. I get this a real sense of you being a really nice person, a real family person, caring about all of the people you're with, not just your family. You care about your friends as well, and you know, you're always there for the underdog because you've been the underdog. So it's beautiful, and that's why that smoky quartz was incredibly important that we got it out for you today. So I'm sending you love from that. Okay, Cancer, here we are, first card. So beginning December. So there you are, look at that. So you've got the Six of Pentacles, which is lovely. Now the Six of Pentacles would mean that, oh, look at that, look, we've got money coming, we've got material gains, we've got things happening, and that's very true, and it definitely feels like that for the beginning of the month, which is a great way for December. It being a Christmas month, often people worry about, will they manage financially? If you haven't budgeted, it might have even occurred to you, crikey, how am I going to do this? But this just shows that you're going in the right direction. You definitely are. I've got this lovely sense of the material needs and wealths and gains, your work, what you're doing, what you've got stashed away or what you haven't got stashed away is all going to be all right. So we start really well at the beginning of the month. And this is about your day-to-day routine as well. How do you manage every single day? How do you budget? How do you finance? How do you balance the books? How do you make sure there's money coming in? So this relates to you looking at your worldly goods. You know, I've definitely got another worldly feel here as the card pulls me down to the quartz. But this is your day-to-day worldly, the here and the now. And this is good. This is showing that you're going in the right direction. Yes, it would be nice to have a bit more. Of course it would. We always feel that, don't we? But you've certainly got enough and you're certainly working in the right direction. When I say you've got enough, I mean you're on the right path. You're certainly threading your way through this month with real optimism and a positive way of doing things. So this definitely relates to work and money as I'm sensing it for you, okay? I'm not getting a love feeling with this to start with. I'm getting very much your day-to-day routine, your work, your business, whether you're in partnership, whatever that is, but it's the material side of things, and it's how we budget every day, and it's showing real promise there. I like that for you. That makes me feel as if I can sit in my chair quite comfortably, and I know that I'm on the right road, I'm headed in the right way. And then moving on, what we do get here is the Chariot, which is actually your very own card, Cancer. And look at it, and this is lovely because this talks about, this is you moving forward in a very positive way. We've got a pentacle there as well, so I'm going to pull that towards here as well because it feels as if I should go over there with it. So it's definitely feeling as if it's on the financial side of it. And what it also shows me here as well is that sense of courage that you've got. This is you literally, this is not you, you're not throwing caution to the wind, because it's important that you don't do that, but you are leaving the past behind you. And I did have that message for you, that the smoky quartz would ask you to, you know, realise your past, remember it, thank you, but I'm moving on now. Thank you for the lessons, but I'm moving on. So letting go of the past and moving forward in a very positive way, very in a very grounded way, and in a very strong way. So I get a real sense of courage and strength here. I also get, when I look at this card and I'm feeling it, I'm getting energy from it. So I'm getting you driving forward with some real energy. Now for some of you, this could actually literally mean that there's some riding going on. You know, that you and your daughter, for instance, for some unknown reason, are going riding. There's a feeling of that, so there will be a horse for some of you in there. So and that smell of horses is just beautiful, isn't it? I mean, they're wonderful creatures. You know, throughout history, they've pulled us, they've allowed us to do things. We've relied on them, and I get a sense of you steering your own course, unaided. You know, you don't need anybody to help you to do this. You're feeling that you can do this yourself. So I'm getting a real sense of courage. I'm getting a sense of riding bareback as well. That sense of I can ride bareback. I don't need the stirrups and I don't need the saddle. And that also means to me that I'm able to do this myself. That I have the courage. That I've got all of my bases covered and all of my corners are sorted out. I've got a real sense of heart and soul and courage here, moving forward, which is beautiful. And then going into the second week, as it were, you know, it's all roundabout. There is the Hanged Man that way round, and we'll pull it round this way for you so that you can actually see it. Now, the Hanged Man would, as I'm getting this feeling for you, remember that I'm getting messages and that I'm giving you the experience of what I'm feeling for you and from the card, is that I've got a sense of this could mean and does and has meant that you could feel in a little bit of limbo. Now, that is possible that you may feel a moment during the course of the month where you're not quite sure which way you're going, that the situation is making you feel slightly like you haven't got control of it. But that isn't the case, because the Chariot says that you have. And all this card would mean to you is that if you do get a moment where you're a little unsure of yourself, where you think, well, hang on, I'm not quite sure if I've got a handle on this, then I just want you to do what I did. So I want you to turn it around, leave the past behind you, figuratively speaking, leave the thoughts behind you, and stand up. You're not in limbo. You are able to literally. I mean, I can see those wings there. You see those bat wings? He can open them up and just fly. He could, if he had feet, he'd just walk. So the limbo is a state of mind. And also limbo, when you look at it and think about it and really think about this word, it's a moment of concentration. It's a moment of you assessing the situation. It's actually a really clever point of view to have. It's a really good aspect to have, because you could be I'm just hanging here surveying the situation, you know. I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at it at this angle. I'm looking at it at that angle. You know, I don't have to be in a state of flux. I don't have to be, oh my goodness, I'm hanging on a thread here. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. Why is this happening? No, I just look at it. I've got my eyes wide open and I can assess the situation. So, if in doubt, turn the situation around to suit you. Don't stay in limbo when you don't need to be, and don't stay in the past when it's not necessary. Any situation that presents itself that has given you the message and part of the journey you needed to learn, you thank it, and you move on. And that's what this card says. So any limbo is just a matter of perspective and a matter of opinion. Okay. Going into now the end of the second week, the moon, and this is for you, isn't it? This is perfect for you, the moon, that lovely dreamy aspect of you. I was getting the otherworldly feeling there as we go back to the quartz, because I'm being pulled there, that otherworldly, that, you remember I talked to you about that planetary feel? That's where the moon is. I mean, the moon is huge. It's a massive part of life, the cycles, the tides, the waves, our dreams, our consciousness, our subconsciousness, the yin, the yang, the way we do things, the way we interpret things, the way we see things, and then as we see them and we perceive them, how we express them to others through our dreams, through our thought processes, through our actions, and through our courage of standing tall when we need to. So this card gives me the very strong sense of number 7, by the way. I want to give you number 7 very strongly. It's very spiritual and it needs to go out to you. And I see this as illumination. I see this card as illumination. I see it lighting up your path and showing you which way to go. And I see you understanding it through dreams and through your thought processes and thinking about things. And again, leaving the past and going through that door that's opening up through you, travelling, as it were, through your thoughts and the process of moving forward each and every day that you need to. You wake up in the morning and you start your day afresh. You dust yourself off and you look at what you need to do moving forward, and you use the courage that you've got and the strength that you've got, and you leave the past behind. So that's what this card feels to me like, and I've got a very strong planetary feel, and I've got you loving the planets, understanding the planets, and I've got the universe looking after you here, and you standing very tall and shining a light on the situation. And dream work's very possible with that card. Look at this going into the third week as well. And you see that Wheel of Fortune. Fate and destiny. Beautiful. You're very spiritual, Cancer. You're very intuitive. So fate and destiny will be running through your life, and you'll be noticing synchronicities. You'll be noticing things. You'll start to realise that there aren't any coincidences, that there are messages, there are little taps on the shoulder, there are bells ringing, there are things happening, that, you know, something comes on the radio and it relates to something you were just thinking of, or it brings you to a memory that's really relevant at that time. So your intuition is going to be very strong. And as I look at the Wheel of Fortune, I do get that sense of you having a reading, of being interesting, delving and diving into your personality and what lies ahead for you, that being of extreme interest to you. A moonstone suits you really well, the moon suits you really well, the planets suit you very well, and the universe is watching over you, by the way. As the universe is this entire wheel here for me. Everything that's there is all 4 corners of the universe. It's all the things we need to do and the things we need to have in order to keep moving. And the wheels keep moving, don't they? Because life is one big cycle, one big movement. Everything is cyclical, and we just go round and round and round. And part of our journey is to learn on our journey, is to not be constantly trapped in a karmic force, but to take what we need to learn and to move on to the next step. And I've got you totally engaging in that and looking forward to what lies ahead for you. And the Wheel of Fortune would say that this is very good. So fate and destiny in your favour and the universe looking after you. You know, we talked about dream work here as I come over to the moon. I said dream work was very possible. You get a sense of that when you look at this card, when you get the Nine of Swords, because it depicts and does talk about somebody, you know, dreaming and not necessarily dreaming that well. Sometimes they're waking up and they're feeling quite stressed and they're not actually sleeping that well. But I'm not getting that with you. I'm not getting that sense of not sleeping well. I'm actually getting dream work. I'm getting dreams, as it were. I'm getting you using your intuition, as the moon would have you do. You know, the moon would say to you, let's have a look at night and day. Let's have a look at the subconscious and the conscious. Let's have a look at what makes the world go round, as the Wheel of Fortune does over here for you. So that's what I'm being pulled and being given to say to you. So keep your eyes wide open and be alert of what's going around you. Seize opportunities, and all of the thoughts that you get and the ideas that you get this month, act on them, because you'll be working from a very intuitive, very psychic stance, because the universe is behind you. So there's going to be a lot of dreams coming through that you might want to write down, that you may just remember in the morning, and it may make sense to you. There'll be synchronicities here. So eyes wide open and seeing, you know, for seeing beyond what is right in front of you is what I'm being given. And so all of those thoughts, when they come to you, they'll all be there for a reason. Take what you want, release what you don't, let go of what's necessary, but most of them will be very productive, because I get a sense of uncovering here, of you studying and unpicking and looking into something, and it being very positive for you. And then going into the beginning of the third week, sort of approximately, sorry I keep wobbling the table, there you are, you've got the Mother of Cups there, and that would be beautiful for you, because this is very spiritual as well, very water-centred, very heart-centred, very knowing. This is a situation where you understand, you are coming into your own, you are understanding what it means to be a sensitive person, what it means to be a caring person, what it means to love your children, to love your partner, and to love the people that are important to you. And I love the way this wing of this swan comes out, and I feel as if she could just wrap her wing around me with her lovely tummy there and keep me safe. And that's you, because you're very, very nurturing and very caring, and you love your children and your family and your home, and you're very good at cooking and making lovely food for everybody. And it's that kind of month, isn't it, December, where the family will be round, and even if you haven't got, you know, an immediate family or a big family around you, you have the ability to love. And I feel somebody coming in for you as well, because I'm being drawn over to my quartz now. I want to go over to my quartz here and show you some love. I also particularly want to do this. I want to, there's a lovely rose quartz here, lovely pebble, and it's just beautiful, and it's oval shaped, and I'm getting a sense of a mother here. And I know we've got the mother written here, but definitely a mother's love is here coming through very strongly for somebody, and wanting to reunite with them. So for somebody, that's very strong and very particular. And I'm also getting the sense of a pearl, of this lady wearing pearls, which definitely denotes an older lady, but not necessarily that old, because there are people that do wear pearls, even though they sometimes are associated with, you know, somebody older. There's lots of people who love pearls. I mean, pearls are beautiful. I had an amazing bracelet that I gave away because I wanted to, that had mother of pearl around it, and it was absolutely gorgeous, and it just struck me. So there's definitely somebody coming in here, so there's a great sense of love. And what I also want to say with this card with you as well is, because I've got all these lovely stars around you and this otherworldly feel, and the quartz will pull me to that, that the universe is looking over you and watching you. This is very heartfelt. This, you you're very able to be in control now. You've reached a sense of emotional maturity, and you're able to be in love without it being terrible and being all too emotional. You've reached that maturity, and if this isn't you reaching that maturity, then there's somebody coming in that's got that kind of love and maturity for you. And it could be a mother's love, or it'll just be a love that feels mature, someone that's been on quite a journey and has realised their potential and understands love at a very deep level. So that's a very beautiful card to have, very nurturing. Going into the end of the month here, we've got the Seven of Cups. When I think of seven, I always think of something very spiritual. Seven gets given to me when I want to say that the universe is watching over you. So I'm going to give you number 7, and I know this card says number 7. I also want to give you night and day here. I want to give you yin and yang, and I want to give you masculine and feminine, and I want you to realise those aspects of your personality, the ability to be masculine and feminine in and have both those strengths being a real core part of your personality. The Seven of Cups can show some choices, can say to you that, you know, there may be 7 choices. There's certainly 7 days in the week. There'll be 7 things that you feel that you need to achieve, or there's 7 days leading up to something, or you've got 7 children, but 7's very important. Any choices that you've got here, just make your choices wisely. Go to sleep on it, think about it, wake up in the morning and decide which is your best form of moving forward. In love, because this is a strong card for that, but it also pulls me towards work as well. So in your work, what choices do you have? What do you need to concentrate on? What do you need to think, well, no, I'm not going to think about that as well, because that's just confusing and it's just not necessary. I don't need all that stuff. I just need this. And whatever that this is this one here. Okay, so there'll be one thing in particular that is kind of exactly what you need, and maybe a couple of others, but you aren't going to need all 7, as it were. So whatever it is that you get in terms of choices in love and in work, what is it that you need? What is it that will make everything make sense? And that's what you take. So don't make it confusing. Go to sleep, think about it, wake up in the morning, write down what that dream was, what your thoughts were, and then you'll have the clarity that you need. So that's what that says coming through for the end of the month. So you've got a lovely sense of, you're starting your beginning of your month off here with the number 6, your day-to-day routines, the money that's coming in, and it being abundant. Yes, we'd always like a bit more, but it's a good start. And then you've got the Chariot, which is your very own sign, you steering your own course, you being very courageous. I get a real sense of you being in control with this card, you could be cantering away with the wind sweeping through your hair and just feeling that sense of, I'm comfortable. I'm feeling good about the direction that I'm going in. The direction I'm going in materially as well as not, there's an emotion here. There's a sense of emotion here, but there's also a sense of a material aspect that what I want, I'm going to make happen. I've got the strength to do that. And then moving on, when we get the Hanged Man here, this is just a perspective. This is you cleverly being able to be dangling if you need to dangle, because it doesn't stop you from performing. It doesn't stop you from seeing where you're headed. It's just a perspective. So a little bit of limbo never hurt anybody, did it? Sometimes things take a moment. Sometimes we've got to think about it. That's all that is. And when we get the moon here, I'm drawn to the planets again, to your quartz here, to the moon aspect, to the opal, to all of that I'm getting drawn to, and to the quartz, to the otherworldly, to the dream aspect, to the subconscious and the conscious, and this ability for you to intuitively look and dive deep and know which way you're going. I've got you shining a light on the situation at work and in your relationship, because I'm getting the number 2. So I know there's a relationship here, but I'm pulled over to the rose quartz, which shows me tenderness and love in this, and you coming from your heart. And then we go over to the Wheel of Fortune here. This is lovely because this is everything moving. There's a cycle here. This is you fate and destiny, the universe looking at you. This is things working out for you. Here we go over to the moon again, because this is dreams. This is you journaling. This is you eyes wide open and looking at the situation. These are thoughts coming in, but you knowing intuitively, because I'm getting this, intuitively knowing how to deal with it, using your powers of perception and that psychic ability that you've got, that otherworldly feel where the moon pulls me. And again, with the Mother of Cups, there's definitely a mother and daughter feeling coming here. There's a reunion of two souls together and it being very emotional. There's also a maturity, an emotional maturity here, with a person coming in, or with you yourself as you work your way through. And this is part of your moving on in your life as well, that emotional maturity, that, you know, when I talked about at the beginning, leaving the past behind you, letting go of what just isn't important to you. And I feel that for you. So it's important to let go of actually what you don't need. And so on the emotional side as well, just coming back to this very nurturing side, this mother looking after her children, this husband looking after his wife, this wife looking after her husband and her children. It's a real nurturing feeling, but there's a very, very strong sense of maturity and somebody coming in that's being reunited. That is specific for somebody, by the way. And then at the end here, the number 7. 7 very spiritual, 7 very important. So somebody needs the number 7. 7 days in the week, 7 things happening, 7 choices. I want you to concentrate on 1 here and maybe pull a couple else out. It's like if you're at work and there's 7 things that you need to do, you need to look at, well, what do I actually need to do to finish off this month, to kind of, you know, wind down for the holiday, for Christmas, and to close the door on the break that I need. Let's just get these couple of jobs done, because there's too many other things there. They're not necessary, and they might even confuse me a little bit. And rather than being confused, because I do not need to be in limbo, because I just need to switch myself round, I'm going to take that one because it's important, and 2 others that are. So this is about you realising what's important. You can even do your dreaming, your journaling, to arrive at your clarity of what you need to do. And very interestingly, I pulled an angel card, because we've all got angels and I work with angels and I love them. And this was the card that I got, and it says move, but it's moving away from the past. That is the strongest one, because that was part of my meditation. That was part of my message that came through. And it's moving into that otherworldly dynamic that's actually there. It's moving with the wheel of fortune here, fate and destiny. It's moving with the hanged man, moving perspective. It's moving with the chariot, steering your own course. It's the movement of the day-to-day routine of abundance coming your way. And it's the movement of night and day, how night stops and day begins, the movement of that. And again, it is exactly the same as when I said to open your eyes. So it's moving your perspective, taking the thoughts you need and moving them into a consciousness that's right for you. And the same here, loving momentum and movement, and deciding which decision you need to make, what's your right move. So that's what I get on the terms of move. And then what else I'm being given as well is such a strong, I'm just adjusting my back a little bit there, of a real strong energetic feel here, very spiritual. All of those colours of the rainbow is your energy field, and it's like you need to move within that energy field. Feel your energy, feel what you've got around you, and literally around your body is your energy field, and it can span right out and it'll give you so much clarity. So I've got a lot of energy around you. I've got a lot of positive psychic ability around you, which is why we were drawn to the otherworldly, why this smoky quartz gave me otherworldly, why I want to go over to the moon. So I know this is right for you. You use that, your sensitive psychic side this month, and there's nothing you won't be able to master. You literally will be able to cope with whatever comes your way. And by the way, you've got a beautiful set of cards here. So I'm going to pull the camera up and have a chat with you. And there you are. Hello. So I hope you've enjoyed the reading. So to recap, it's a really good month for you. It's a very spiritual month. It's a very psychic month. It's there's an unconscious, subconscious feel going on here. So it's inviting you and it's igniting you to move into that sphere of your psychic ability, to move into the idea that anything is possible, because it is. And I want you to take that on board. It's a lovely month, December. You've got a lot of things going on. I feel very strongly of the planets, astrologically, universally, you having support around you. And I think you'll be connecting. And that will be a very good idea. Meditation is a great way to just start that process, just by centering yourself and relaxing, and seeing where that takes you. If it does nothing else, it will set you up beautifully to start each day and to give you a really positive view on life, and get you motivated to do the best that you can and to be the best person that you can, as you always are, because you always come from your heart, which is why we'll probably end on the lovely rose quartz, because you do come from your heart, don't you? And may you always do that. So thank you, Cancer. Thank you for listening. I wish you a beautiful month. It's definitely going to be. I would love to work with you or see you again. Of course, I'll be doing more of these videos, but it would be really great, and I'd be very appreciative if you would like this video, because I'm new. You will notice that by the likes, so hopefully they'll build up. And if you would subscribe as well. And lastly, would you take a look at Spirit in You, see what you think? I'd love to know what you think. If you want a reading with me, it'd be my absolute pleasure, so you just click on the link.